Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for your flexibility this week and thank you for watching this video based on our topic for the week, which is titled Speed Bumps to Critical Thinking. So, our goals for today are a couple things. Number one, we're going to analyze the multiple obstacles to critical thinking. We're also going to identify the dangers of the social discomfort of asking critical questions, fast thinking, belief perseverance, answering the wrong question, egocentrism, and wishful thinking. All of those words will become familiar to you as the lesson progresses. So in this video, we're going to start by engaging in an intro conversation. We're going to talk about what I mean when I say speed bumps to critical thinking, and then you will be assigned a topic and we'll talk about the criteria for your poster that you will create and bring to class next week. We'll go over final announcements and that'll be the video. So I'm going to read the following scenario out loud, and I want you to think about, does this remind you of anything that you've ever seen online? So imagine Alex. Maybe he's a friend of yours, he or she. A first year college student majoring in political science is up late scrolling through TikTok when he stumbles on a trending video titled, Exposed, Your Campus is a Government Test Site. And the video shows grainy footage of workers installing new Wi-Fi routers in lecture halls. It zooms in on updated student ID cameras or scanners and claims facial recognition cameras are being tested in dorm entrances under the guise of student safety. It mixes screenshots of public records, out of context campus security policies, and sensational voiceovers saying things like, this is not about safety, this is about control. It also links the college's recent partnership with local law enforcement agencies to a larger federal monitoring pilot program. The narrator says, wake up, students, they're watching you while you sleep. So I want you to think about it and pause this video because I've given you a list of possible speed bumps to critical thinking that Alex may encounter after watching the clip. So push pause, read that handout I gave you in class, and then press continue when you're ready. Okay, so this handout, let's quickly talk about some of them. Um, for example, the halo effect. So his reaction could be, this guy has exposed shady stuff before. So if he says it's happening here, I totally believe him. Maybe he has this like admiration for this TikTok creator and the creator's well spoken and charismatic. So they assume that their claims are credible without really analyzing the content because you like that person. Again, they have a halo effect. Egocentrism. Alex could interpretation in a very self-centered way. He could assume the alleged surveillance is directed at him personally, and he assumes his own experiences and importance are at the center of these events. He could seek or feel discomfort in asking the right questions. Maybe he feels uncomfortable pressing for clarity because it might make him seem paranoid or confrontational. And so instead of asking people with authority and checking reliable sources, he just like keeps it all inside, and that discomfort kind of prevents him from gathering or clarifying information. Believe perseverance. Alex may want his life to feel more meaningful and dramatic, so he's more inclined to believe the conspiracy because it fulfills that desire. Availability heuristic would mean that Alex overemphasizes the likelihood of conspiracy because examples come easily to mind. And finally, we have stereotyping. Alex could rely on a generalized belief about a certain group rather than analyzing the evidence. So, as you can see, we related 6 different speed bumps to critical thinking to this one scenario with Alex. Throughout the class period today, as well as when we return on Tuesday, your job will be to bring information related to one of these speed bumps to share with your classmates. And we'll continue to talk about Alex when we come to class at that time. So I want you to think about, and because we're asynchronous, it'll just have to be on your own. But does this scenario remind you of any experiences you've had online or otherwise? And which reactions stand out to you as especially common in your world? This scenario relates to me in that my uncle is very susceptible to believing these kinds of things online. He will call my dad, he's my dad's brother, and he will alert him of, at one point he thought the United States was going to be invaded, and he was encouraging my dad to be prepared, and it was all rooted based on something he had seen online. And so you may or may not have someone in your life, kind of like my uncle, or maybe you have also fallen for some of these, you know, stories that we see online without truly thinking it over. And today we're going to assign some vocabulary to some of those speed bumps or like flaws that we have in our critical thinking. And before we move forward, I just want to again normalize it. Everyone falls victim to these errors in critical thinking. And so, as the slide says, even as we learn critical thinking and plan to use it to create a more thoughtful you, there are still many speed bumps on the road to making us more critical, deeper thinkers. And we call these obstacles speed bumps because, number one, you can overcome them if you just slow down, right? Our automatic gut reaction is often to draw a conclusion right away. And that is not the most effective model of thinking. And so, number one, we just slow down. Number two, they are there when you are, whether you are aware of them or not. And so, this activity, this conversation we're having in class will just bring more awareness to the issue when we come across a speed bump like this in our life. And number three, once you're aware of them, they still exist to interfere with your progress. So it doesn't matter if you ace this class and you have an IQ that's off the charts. Everyone comes into situations where they exercise shortcuts or speed bumps to critical thinking, and again, that awareness will help us identify and get past them. So within this assignment description in Canvas, you have been provided with a textbook chapter titled Chapter 3, Speed Bumps Interfering with Your Critical Thinking. Your job is to take the speed bump that you were assigned and create a mini poster on the 11 by 17 paper you were given in class. And that poster needs to include the following. Number one, a title indicating the speed bump that you were assigned. Number two, a bullet point description of the obstacle to critical thinking and why it's dangerous. So all of that information will come from the textbook chapter that is embedded in your Canvas assignment. Number three, a realistic scenario of when this obstacle or speed bump has caused poor thinking or bad decision. And I say that AI is okay for that specific piece of our assignment. I don't know about you, but sometimes I struggle to come up with specific scenarios of things like these. And so if you go into ChatGPT and just ask for an example of an instance where someone utilized the halo effect in making a decision, ChatGPT or any other AI bot will give you a bunch of examples that you can choose from to include in your poster. And finally, a discussion question to post to the class. On Tuesday, we are going to present this information to your classmates, and towards the end of your presentation, you will ask a small group of your classmates the discussion question that you include in your poster. So with that said, in terms of our final announcements for this clip, I want you to create that mini poster. I want you to be ready for your quick presentation and an authentic assessment when you come to class on Tuesday. That authentic assessment The questions will be posted in Canvas, so you're able to look at that as well. And there's going to be another assignment beneath this one having to do with a reading and perusal. So, press next and move on. Thank you.